10-minute stomp by RRQ. Now, I'm wondering what it might look like.
Obviously we won MSI and obviously we won 2 times in EU, but all of that means nothing if we don't show up at Worlds.
They won Spring, they won MSI, they have now conquered Summer. It is a single trophy lift now of the Summoners Cup.
Because all it takes is one more step and then we're there.
This is what peak League of Legends looks like, and it comes from Europe!
I demand a king's ransom for royalty. Deserve a mansion, I'm royalty. Address me, your majesty. The form a new dynasty.
G2 are destroying Fnatic.
I am your highness.
They are your champions.
Address me, your majesty.
If you look at the theory of it, I feel like G2 should be the favorites. But then again, I also know that when the tournament starts, everything that you've done before and every theory you have is out the window. And then it's just up for the people that can handle the pressure when you're up there on stage. And I think we could be one of those teams.
Becca's gonna jump forward now. Teleport comes in behind them. Becca sees to get the killing. He's gonna get out. He tries to jump away with the flash as well. Fnatic find the kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion is returning.
Stay cool, the North King must be colder.
大家对我们的要求特别高。
They hail me as king, but when hell freezes over, will I reign supreme and that's hell on your shoulder?
我们最渴望的就是再拿到冠军，除了冠军，没有什么其他的渴望。
那是那个追你们的冠军，我们是冠军。这是小威廉。Reckless jumps up, flashes away. Oh, it's all Reckless! It's all Reckless! Attack turns it around! Yo, shut it down!
저희가 가장 많은 월드 챔피언십 우승 타이틀을 갖고 있는데 월드컵의 역사에서 진정한 왕좌에 앉을 수 있는 것은 저희 팀밖에 없다고 생각합니다.
And again, they made these substantial changes that will make them when it comes to the games.
Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure Alter Ego will be looking out for that, as they always do for most things, as for all things actually. Performing this well, it's Yam, Leo Murphy, Udil, Chelly Boy, and Pai. So Cassius gonna be sitting this one out. He made his debut yesterday. Contra, how do you feel about this lineup, this was the same that they played in the group stage.
Well, of course, when we're looking towards the group stage, there were games that they did drop, even playing with the likes of Odil. So I'm pretty sure that having his own break, they have been able to plot even more of all these sort of strats to be going up against whoever who falls down from the upper brackets. And know for a fact that these two teams are kind of like the prince of their respective countries to be, taking over one day. And I'm looking at which one will be the ones that step closer towards the throne.
I like it. The prince. You mean the heir apparent, right?
Heir to the throne.
The next stop in line. So, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes on the clock here before we start drafting once more Alter Ego versus Omega Esports. Gideon, man, do you think this is going to change the dynamic of Alter Ego? Because yesterday, it seemed like Cassius was really acting to help Yam out.
Absolutely, and I think, that's something to keep in mind because Yam has been integrated into this team really, really well, and I think his performance has just been skyrocketing ever since. And honestly, I don't know, he feels like a ton of diamonds, like specifically 899 diamonds here.
And that's
899.
all you need to be able to get the exclusive skin for him too. That's the Shadow Omen skin for Clint. Your boy Clint still hasn't made a showing here, but that doesn't mean there's no chance, all right? By the way, this is an in-game event happening. Just check it out. Click that banner, and you can complete tasks and predict the champion to win M2 coins. Exchange these coins for M2 exclusive rewards, which include the special avatar border. That's the exclusive skin again. That's Clint's Shadow Omen skin, the battle emote, and that sacred statue. Get all of these for 899 diamonds once more, only up until the 24th of January. But to be real though, it felt like more than 899.
Honestly, yeah, he honestly shines so bright, especially when Cassius is working on his side of the map. And I think that's kind of the question here of what kind of a draft is going to kind of enable Yam to do those things. Because as you can see, he can play lane really, really well, but he really does shine once his team kind of enables him to say, hey, we need you to do this. We need you to get into the backline. We need you to join the fight.
Yeah, you need to listen a lot, right? And I'm guessing that's what Cassius was good at. Because whenever we would do interviews back from the MPLI and Alter Ego 1, it was always Cassius speaking up. And he's a very intelligent man, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the keys to unlocking Yam. But right now, Butters, we talked about Alter Ego. I'm going to ask you about Omega here. And there's a meme going on online in the MLBB community, and it specifically talks about what hero should the Filipino teams ban, and who is that?
I haven't seen the meme. I'm sorry about.
It's Yu Zhong. He really slept like a rock, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, for Burmese goons.
Well, I think for both.
I think for everybody at this point in
everybody
time.
just ban it out. But yeah, Omega Esports, they are a team who just really wants to be aggressive into the early game. But the thing is, when you find a way to stop them in their tracks from making that snowball, they lose communication. They don't even talk. They don't even talk much even when they're winning. But what happens when you just lose communication?
That's all the more.
Losing?
All the more when you
all
need
the
it.
more worse.
All the more when you need it, ladies and gentlemen. Alter Ego Esports here on the play. Already banned out the Jawhead and the Benedetta. Nothing too crazy here. Nothing from out of left field just yet. Omega Esports getting rid of the Esmeralda. Contra still out there again. The Yu Zhong still out there. Is the Yu Sun Shin. What else are we looking at?
I'm definitely looking at the Yi Shun Shin here. That is a hot contested pick that you mentioned earlier on. And we've seen a lot of all these sort of stuff that does get out of the way. Like, if we really want to look at Loyi, usually you go in towards phase 2, right? So phase number 1, you still have that sort of hot picks that have been popping out on the radar. And that's in the form of, a couple of all these sort of marksmen. I'm not too sure whether if they should take out the 1-1. Sometimes you do see a phase 1 1-1 ban, but not exactly the highest of priority when it comes down to this list.
At this point, I think Alter Ego might want to consider just banning out the Natalia at this point of time. And honestly, the way that they're starting with the Benedetta and as well as the Jawhead, they get rid of the Yi Shun Shin. It kind of tells me that they have like something in mind. They kind of want to play a composition that doesn't rely around those strong picks. And I'm assuming Sylvana is going to be picked up by Omega here because Alter Ego, they're just running out of first pick options.
They want Chelly Boy to be aggressive. Alter Ego, they are gonna go for probably a Jawhead, probably a Cho. They need those heroes that can just hide on the brush and just have that certain advantage when it comes to the initiation. So they ban out the Yi Sun-shin. For Omega Esports, I think Natalia is a good ban, actually.
It'll be a really good ban.
It's going to be Natalia.
They're not running the risk. Again, first pick goes to Alter Ego Esports here. And if you don't respect these kinds of heroes, then you're going to pay the price. Now, first pick for Alter Ego, definitely her Gel Butters. Maybe a tank that allows Chelly Boy to just snowball, make him space, and just catch free kills. But right now, I think they should also consider maybe Yam. But yeah, it's going to be Sylvana first.
Yeah.
Could go for Yam from the side lane, or even, Leo Murphy. Could burst folks down.
Yeah, we see the Sylvana on how other teams use it. They stay in the brush. Then when someone tries to go for a face check, there's a stun, there's Imperial Justice, and most of the time it gets the job done.
So good.
It's so good. And without the Yi Sun-shin, you don't have a way to see that.
Nothing.
Yeah, and of course that makes it a little bit more difficult as well. And with that, we are having a little bit of the attention towards this Selena pick in the early phase, alongside with the Yuzong, which is looking rather interesting because Omega Esports, they've already secured everything they need for the sort of way to just spot them out. So
yeah,
Abyssal Arrows coming in, but they need to find a little bit of a way to be enabling some of all these cores. So I wonder what will they pick up next for the side of Omega.
Here's where it gets a little scary, because even for at least for Omega, they're kind of waiting on Alter Ego to kind of make that pick, right? And at this point, Matilda is on the table. I feel like it is almost a free pick in most of these situations, other than the fact that Alter Ego is considering that the team fight capabilities of Yuzong is there and Lapu Lapu is on the table. So do you lock in that core, or do you just take in that extra utility from Matilda? And it looks like they opt to go for the Roger instead.
In the group stages, Lapu Lapu seems really good. He's probably the best side or XP laner in the group stages. Now, there is this Yuzong that just is rising.
The trade
It's a trade, yeah.
Okay, well, some stats are definitely getting skewed. Predictions are getting disrupted. And right now, we're waiting for one more pick from Omega Esports here to round out the first phase. And that's going to be Hajizi out of the jungle, picking up his signature Ling. So for seeing it, it's going to be Chelly Boy on the Roger versus Hajizi on the Ling. Hey, it's all about choking out the purple for Omega Esports, so they better look out for that. They're covering their bases, getting rid of these mid heroes. That's Luo Yi first taken out. Alter Ego, what can they choke out? Heath still has no heroes here. No choices for him.
Yeah, and when we're looking towards this review, fan phase number 2, there's so much high priority target onwards what will come next for the side of Omega Esports by banning out even more of those sort of the jungler or marksman coming in. But having that Ling is already pretty good enough, right? Having the late game split pushes being very much secured. So for this sort of the take, you can see so much focus on towards mages, and that's where you see Loi being banned out. But the Tigro, though, is a very interesting ban.
There you go. That's a target on Heath.
Since a lot of dives are going to happen for Alter Ego, Tigreal is the best ban. For Omega Esports, they still have a lot of heroes on Heath. They can go for I wouldn't really suggest a Hilda, just because Lapu, Sylvana, and Roger don't really care about her. I guess a Cho would be great. Seeing a Cho on Heath would be 50-50, but I think with the mechanics and the fundamentals that he has, I think he has enough to pull it off.
And I think, Omega had to make a decision here whether or not to kind of like punish this mid laner, punish the mid laner who has wave clear. They wanted to, they were thinking about Farsa or making sure that the side lane is going to be okay with the Lunox here. And I think that's a very good choice. Alter Ego, as you mentioned, Butters, Cho is a really good pick for Omega's side. And I think as long as Alter Ego start focusing down on those utility types, flexible supports, then they can actually pick up some wave clear for themselves, because that's what they're lacking right now. They won't have mid priority here, and I think both teams kind of understand that.
Yep, and instead of mid-priority, I think what Omega Esports has just accepted that they're going to do is try to go into the jungle. They want to protect their jungle and get into the opponents.
If you would look at Omega Esports banning pattern here, you just ban out meta heroes. Then for the second phase, you pick one person to ban his heroes out. They go for Odile, they go for the Louis, they go for the Lunox. Probably Odile's, how do I say this, most successful heroes in the tournament.
Yeah.
It deals a lot of damage. It can punish the Yuzhong.
Some would say a signature, like in the long run.
Yeah.
So that's what Omega Esports is doing. Very, very clear cut. Now they have one pick before throwing it back over to Alter Ego to complete it. Now again, they are missing a hero for Heath, and it looks like they are also missing one for Kenji or Curtisi. Again, if this turns into a marksman side lane, then that's going to be on Curtisi while Kenji picks up the Yuzhong. I'm guessing they try to get Heath now. Give Heath a hero now so that you have that flex pick later, because utility tanks are super important, and there it is. We've been saying it all, well, for the past minute or so. That's the show. Very important pickup here.
I definitely think that this is possibly the only best tank left available for that moment, and with so many of all these mages being banned away, you know, I'm not entirely sure if there's any more great ones to be picked up by Alter Ego Esports here. Well, yesterday we did see an Eudora that was being introduced in towards the playoffs.
RRQ,
in the form of RRQ Hoshi, and of course, Alter Ego might just actually pick that one from the playbook that was actually causing a lot of disruption towards Omega Esports side.
I think regardless here, if they get the Eudora, it might not be as efficient. Farsa is wide up on the table. Harith is also a pretty good shout. Yep, and they finally actually decide to go for the Matilda as well as the Harith. So they skewed their composition to say, hey, we want to have a really strong level 4, knowing that your composition wants to play for early. At least we have a Matilda to defend ourselves, harass you towards the mid lane. So at least if you try and invade, you're going to be at about what, 60 to 50% of your HP.
Alter Ego's not gonna go for that ultimate dependent lineup. They can fight as long as the Roger is up. Matilda and Sylvana is a really great help, just containing or controlling people just for Roger to take down. Because Roger is one of those heroes that really just needs the orange buff to go on. He deals a lot of damage with that certain power spike that he has. But for Omega Esports, it's going to be the Chang'o.
I think this was lacking. They needed wave clear, and now I'm wondering, just in hindsight, should this have been a Farsa? Chang'o or a Farsa? Chang'o or a Farsa? I think they're just doubling down on the range. Massive reach.
I would agree with the range, but I also think that it's just like making sure that the side laners are going to be A-okay, because that's where Omega is looking to punish. Like if it's not the mid lane and we can't invade you, then your side lanes are going to be the next big target.
Yeah, so it's a complete concession to mid. Like you can have mid. We'll take the jungle. We'll take the side lane.
Torch versus Alter Ego, game number 1.
Let's get this show on the road. Finally, first game up today. Let's bring it as Alter Ego going to be going up against Omega Esports. And again, we should be expecting nothing too soon.
Real quick, Alter Ego, Omega. What's your prediction?
Are way more useful in comparison to level 1.
You would expect people to just go for the invade with the Roger, Sylvana, and the Matilda, but Alter Ego Esports, they're not going to push their luck. They're not going to put themselves in the 50-50.
I'm expecting Omega to just
speaking of 50-50s here, you know, like hitting in towards the late game, that's where
all right, we'll leave it to you guys.
Contra, especially crucial. When we talk about Omega, they are very key fight-ready team. And there goes.
Let's get this show on the road. Finally, first game up today. Let's bring it as Alter Ego going to be going up against Omega Esports. And again, we should be expecting nothing too soon, especially since Omega do have the early game composition, but level 2s are way more useful in comparison to level 1.
You would expect people to just go for the invade with the Roger, Sylvana, and the Matilda, but Alter Ego Esports, they're not going to push their luck, they're not going to put themselves in the 50-50.
Yeah,
so he just went for it, and the spear is there just to harass him.
That's where team fights are especially crucial. And we talk about Omega, they are very team fight-ready team. And there goes a little bit of the movements coming across, and Kenji is going to spot out of danger. And perhaps there will be a little bit of contest coming in the way soon. But let's talk about this matchup here down below. This the Yuzhong as well as Lap because they're going to be contributing pretty huge input pressure in the game.
And Kenji there might have pulled the trigger on his flicker a bit too early. He didn't know that Leo Murphy didn't get the stun, so he just went for it, and the spear is there just to harass. And look at the damage for Heath here. That
honestly, I would think they would want to be a little bit mean, Matilda, again, she's really great in the early game just to harass her opponents. She does struggle to finish them off, and that's why you see some teams actually taking the flame shot here and there, or even the Farsa to just make sure, like, hey, you gotta go.
Yeah, and speaking of which, now we're already moving our eyes on towards Odile, where, early game pressure is the name of the game coming from Matilda, but she's being pushed towards the turret, being forced to retreat, and now we're going to be having the turtle on towards the three corners of the river, where most of the members of Mega are
late game is
fixating
going to be
themselves
very interesting,
towards
where you
the top
got
side, trying to get a cast on towards this tower.
and on the other side, you
honestly,
got
I would think they would want to be a little bit more
Rogers.
aggressive here, especially
Which
especially down towards bottom side. But it looks like Half is going to be a little bit of an issue since he is going to the ESP lane. He wants to rush that level 4 as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but the only difference right now for Leo Murphy is he is a calm player. He doesn't get tilted as much, so all those TPs are probably not going to get into his head. Some of the tanks right here that Leo Murphy thought, they actually react, but for him, I don't think that's going to be the case anytime soon.
Yeah, and speaking of which, late game is going to be very interesting, where you got picks like the Link, and on the other side you got the Harris, Rogers. Which one do you think, will be much stronger heading towards late phase? Because I'm pretty concerned if Yelly Hayes gets to late game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your sentiment here, but speaking of Yelly Hayes, he's forced to push back in towards lane. Coming back to the question here, I think at the end of the day, it's about, I would say it's almost around even here, but I will say that Alter Ego does have the better late game composition because there's a lot more relevant ultimates and also just relevant heroes in those situations. Now, Easy is going to get a little bit of damage here, but Pai, he wants to zone him out to ensure that the rest of the team can actually contest for that purple buff. Luckily, Easy still having his retribution, but that just means that the turtle is going to have zero pressure coming in from Omega.
Well, I really felt like Alter Ego here is putting way too much of that aggression, and they are ripping a lot of rewards out of it. Like, as you can see, although the goal lead is going to be relatively small at the moment, if you've already got the turtle, they can really take all these buffs. We're checking out some of these items.
late game as well, but there's a fight happening right here.
Yep, and they're going in pretty hard, but they're backing away as soon as possible. Purple buff again contested, but that's going to be a big ultimate coming in from Cartesian. He can't really do too much to contest, and Heath, he could try to make the play, but again, all 5 members are here. Sorry, all 4 members are here from side of Alter Ego, and the 5th one just joining from lane. Hajizi is going to get so low, but look at the top side, Kenji, a free push.
Well, I really felt like Alter Ego here is putting way too much of that aggression, and they are ripping a lot of rewards out of it. Like, as you can see, although this is goal lead, it's going to be relatively small at the moment. They've already got the turtle, they've already taken all these buffs. We're checking out some of these items,
absolutely destroyed and disrespecting his space, especially without Flicker. But it's not over yet. Kenji is going to be dropped down that meteor shower, and even though he used the way of the dragon, he might have been up a little more.
Yeah, trying to go for the help, and he might have been more than he could do there. Okay, in terms of items, they're just getting their core items first, but AE here, they really just want to start the fight. Calamity Reaper on that Harris. Haji only has the Raptor Machete, and for Kenji, he has the glowing wand, if I'm not mistaken. I just can't see it from here.
He's almost getting it. Oh, wait, no, because he's looking to try to jump on top of Leo Murphy, but he's able to get pulled back with the help of Odile. They're going to disengage from the fight, but he's going to get chucked out. Absolutely destroyed and disrespecting his space, especially without Flicker. But it's not over yet. Kenji is going to be dropping down that meteor shower, and even though he used the way of the dragon, he might have been off a little more than he could chew. Yam is going to be able to enable himself to pick him off, and Kenji the next to fall, but it is going to say hello, Shelly Boy here. Say hello to this. Can he get one more? The killing spree is going to be enough. No, it is not. Orange buff a little too good. Yelly Hayes goes down, and it's going to be a 3-for-1 trade in favor of Alter Ego.
And I guess this just explains what the usage ban is for. If there was a usage in this game, this wouldn't have been possible for Alter Ego to just dive in, catch them off guard. Omega Esports here, they need to find
a way to get Case to drop those traps.
I absolutely agree with that, and you just look how well coordinated of an attack Alter Ego Esports responded with. Although they were in really awkward positions with Cellboy coming in and out of that sort of fight, but he has been able to get those kills in, and he's 2 kills up alongside with Yam. This is where things start to get a lot more dangerous for Omega, and they have to pull those moves because we talk about the early game. This is where they're supposed to shine.
Where they are. I don't know if y'all are realizing, but Yam's actually kind of getting a little big here. He's got 4K worth of gold, a Calamity Reaper, and a Holy Crystal. 6 minutes into the game, the fight is already going to be but Yam, he's just going to say, hello, you started the fire at the worst time possible. And Cortese looking to turn this around with the help of the Meteor Shower. He comes on through. Dragon Tail will actually connect him, but his passive is going to keep it alive, but he knows better. He can't go too far.
Alter Ego is so snappy with their reactions. It's like one time you see that they're on the top lane, you engage a fight, 5 seconds after they're there on the middle lane fighting with their teammate as well. So for Omega Esports, they need to find the players from Alter Ego more. They need to be aware where they are at certain points in time to create this advantage, because Omega Esports, they have a lot of pick-up potential. They have the city on their side, they have it on their side.
Talking about pick-up potential, the way the Dragon's already coming through right after, but Yam, he needs to decide on which side of the map he needs to fight on, as they got split into 2. They find the first initial catch, but then there's the return coming in from Cortese with the help of Yelly Hayes.
Very interesting move from both sides. You can see Yam really moving into splitting this team apart, but they have not get that catch right over on towards those small little bushes, and finally at least Omega Esports can shut down Leo Murphy in the process, but it still takes a little bit more for them to get to where they need to be, as we can definitely see a little bit of deficit in terms of goal at the moment, but hey, once the team fight possibly change everything.
Genji right now has the Ice Queen 1 with the glowing 1. This is an important power spike for the side of Omega Esports. They can control the fight, or if ever they want, they can contest this turtle thing. But for them, it's not usually the best idea as they catch out 5, and that is what I'm saying. Find the right target and punish him. Because Alter Ego Esports, if they cannot rotate to that certain area, you are going to have a better time!
Oh yeah, he actually didn't by any of the skill shots. Cortese is able to get a little bit more, but the return skill is Jelly Boy is able to dodge the perfect abilities at the right time. But you're totally right there about the target priority, but I think that's not all. Hajizi is going to try and force the fight onto Jelly Boy, who has to run away. Leo Murphy, he's got nothing else. He drops down the spiral. Jelly Boy needs to take out Yelly Hayes, but the way the Dragon came off of cooldown at the right time, and Yam, he can't go down. He wants to look for a return kill, and the Chrono Dash, it doesn't get him just yet. Finally, Omega find a trade they were looking for, 2 for 1.
I just want to say that Alter Ego Esports is giving Yam more freedom to choose the heroes that he wants. He's been forced to use the usual. He's been forced to use these side laners that can just stab and deal significant damage. But right now, a Harris with Calamity Reaper, a Holy Crystal, he's proving the naysayers wrong.
He's coming in with the Black Dragon formation. He wants to jump on towards Jelly Boy. He gets him, but it's not enough. Goes CC to lock him down, and he doesn't want to jump forward any further.
More and more tankier as,
looking at it,
Leo Murphy will be helping him in the process.
But there is one thing that they cannot get. They cannot get the turrets here onto the side of Omega
how they control the entirety of all these mid-game fights. It's been looking relatively well for Omega Esports, but they really have to give high priority on all these big objectives, and the next one's coming right in with the Lord.
Problem on your side.
As we win, we're going to be having a big fight here. Kenzie gets picked up,
26k mark, where a lot of the mid-game heroes have gotten the utility items, especially like the Ice Queen 1. It helps them look for that return kill. Way the Dragon onto the Sylvana for now, but Leo Murphy can easily jump out with the Imperial Justice, but now they are running backwards in Kenji. He's just cutting them down with the Meteor Shower. I can't see whether he's going to kill Fire. Not yet. He's so low on health. He's so trapped. He is done for, but down by the bottom side. Pot is going to trade for Heat, and it's not looking too good until Kartizi comes in. He's coming in with the Black Dragon form as he wants to jump out towards Chelly Boy. He gets him, but it's not enough. No CC to lock him down, and he doesn't want to jump forward any further.
Yeah, and looking at it, Alter Ego Esports, yes, they have the lead, but there is one thing that they cannot get. They cannot get the turrets here onto the side of the Mega Esports. Yes, you had a 4-kill lead into the early game, but if you cannot convert it into objectives just because Kenji is just clearing out the waves, then that is going to be a big problem on your side.
And speaking of which, we're going to be having a big fight here. Kenji gets picked up, and he goes unstoppable, and nobody has been able to stop this Howard in the process.
It's tough. It's tough because Yam he's 5-0. Okay, he's 5-0, and that means that the rest of AE want to actually push on forward and try and steal the bus. They must be getting easy. This is looking great. Can they get one more? Yes, they can. As Yam drops down, Salmon forced. Gilly Hayes, he's forced to run on backwards, and that's going to be 3 of their more important players. 2 of their cores going down, and this here too.
But
on
this
top
is
of all
okay
of
for
that.
Mega Esports. They still can go for the steal. They have
Alter
Haji, they have
Ego
Kenji. The question is,
Esports, I
will
was
they go
just
for it? The
saying
answer
that
is no. Alter
Kenji
Ego
is going to be very
Esports
important
just
for their
think that's the
defense.
story.
And right now, as you can see, the meteor shower is there. It will hit a lot of members here for the side of Alter Ego, but it won't take them down.
Yeah, not just yet, not just yet. It's a slow roll, you know? You gotta wait for the conditions to be right.
Yeah, I felt like Omega Esports is taking too many of these fights where not exactly every single one of those fights are actually necessary. They were pushing it for its minute without much of the area control, and easily Alter Ego just snapped right back at them. And you just see Yam has free reign. He just dives straight on top and goes unpunished. And here comes the Lord attempt coming from Alter Ego.
This is going to be one of the bigger fights here. He flickers forward to try and stop them as much damage as possible as he blocks half of the meteor shower from Kenji. Oh my goodness, Alter Ego were willing to throw their bodies in front of the damage to secure this Lord.
But this is okay for Omega Esports. They still can go for the steal. They have Haji, they have Kenji. The question is, will they go for it? The answer is no. Alter Ego Esports just take that luminous sword.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're way too out of reach, understanding the fact that, hey, it's 3 members versus 5, and this time, it's already 30 minutes into the game, which is relatively concerning with the luminous sword coming at them eventually. So if they were to lose even more members, I'm not even sure, like, the Yellow's case as well as Kartizi comes back up, and they manage a good defense.
Sorry about this, but yeah, I do think with Kenji, it is possible, but they just have to sacrifice their own life totals to protect the waves, because right now, Omega, they want to cut the waves using their mobility with Hajizi.
Yeah, and Omega Esports, they aren't given the chance to go for their initiate.
This is really just stepping up to the plate.
Selena hits someone with the arrow or Heath gets a good way of the dragon, that's going to be great for them. But if they are forced to engage, they're just forced to react, and that's not going to be good on their side.
As John already said, I think that day was yesterday. Yam woke up yesterday and said
forced to use his ultimate to get out of the way now for the full engagement here. Kartizi tries to pull something off, but Heath is able to get the way of the dragon onto Prime, but that's not going to be enough. That's not the target that you want, as they were able to turn this around, barely using both of their ultimates at that point in time. Meteor Shower as well onto Jelly Boy. This could be a huge pick. They can turn this around. Omega looking for the opportunity, but unfortunately, all they get is a good defense. Jelly Boy survives and ends the game. GG, well played.
Just look at Alter Ego, how they managed to pull every single move on top of Omega Esports. As much as they try to go in for those fakes, nothing is actually going in favor of the Philippine side in this very first match, and solely Alter Ego pushed through and punched in their first point in this match.
It's like Yam just woke up one day, became a monster, and this is really just Yam stepping up to the plate.
You need the perspective from the outside. Leo, what's the perspective here? You watch the entire game. What happened?
It's a great time to be an Alter Ego fan.
Oh no, I can't seem to move it. He's just watching over the
as John already said, I think that day was yesterday. Yam woke up yesterday and said
I think the analyst has
the playoffs is going to see a brand new group stage. Y'all seen nothing yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caster's Desk. Alter Ego currently scoring one ahead of Omega, and that's going to be match point. They are threatening the sweep. Could be a clean 2-0 here, and we're going to be saying goodbye to one of the two Filipino teams left. Once more, it was off of just Yam just doing great things on that Harris, and I expected actually during the draft for it to be on Pi. We've seen Pi with Harris before coming out of the gold lane, but this time I think they really are just making the moves and the changes to help Yam do good Yam things. Talks about Lemon. Yam do good Yam things, and even with Adil now, Casey is no longer playing in the first 5.
When
it seems to work.
There, but
and I'm really loving how the perception has absolutely changed for this player. When, and at first everyone was doubting him, like, oh, this Yusong pick's not really good for him, and he finally found his style of play to be able to get so much out of this.
I don't know, does anybody feel like he's becoming like a sleep paralysis demon? Like every other team is just like, oh no, I can't seem to move, and he's just watching over them overbearingly.
Ultra Esports having the better understanding of their win conditions.
But I think the analyst has worse things to say.
Yep, definitely. We need the help of Wolf and Lafel to break us down. Hey, tell us what happened in game number 1.
Up with this Harris pick, which I think was
somebody woke up on the right side of the bed. I guess that's what happened. Yeah. My name is Wolf, and I'm with Lafel. We're going to be talking about that game number 1. Not many things have transpired in the past few days, but I would say this is a massive waking up for Yam. This is playoff Yam.
Yeah, playoff Yam looks so good. Especially that hard pick. Where I definitely want to talk about the items a little bit after, because he adjusted it slightly where it made it really good in the mid game, and that is the thing that Alter Ego did very well, is the mid game where nothing really happened in the early game. In fact, the first blood happened so late on that top lane when Alter Ego rotated there, but basically around the 4-minute mark, Alter Ego, they just got together as 4, as 5, and it was really good with the draft that they were having. But basically, they moved together, forced themselves inside of the jungle of Omega, and Omega had to concede their jungle just because their lineup is not really good to fight there, especially with their jungle link.
Yeah, I think that this is Ultra Esports having a better understanding of their win conditions. Now, they did draft this Roger as well as the Lapu-Lapu quite early on in the drafting phase, and then they finished it up with this Harris, which I think was genius. Because there's really not much of a big gap coming out from the side of Omega Esports, so the Harris will definitely have a good late game. Now, before we talk about the items, very quickly I want to say this Harris only had to endure the first few minutes of the match, and it seemed like Alter Ego Esports knew exactly what to do to make this a Harris game.
Yeah, and right now, Harris, we look at the itemization, and it is normal Harris itemization. However, what is different is the order. So first, he created the Calamity Reaper, but usually after that, we'll finish off with the Fed of Heaven, because the Chrono Dash, it counts as a basic attack, and you want that basic attack to really stack up with the Calamity Reaper. However, he changed it up. He made Holy Crystal first, so that his proficient is as strong as his Chrono Dash. And what that does is that the mid-game is so much more stronger, especially if you see his Ivana as well as the Lapu-Lapu and the Matilda, they will set it up for him, and then he just makes sure that he has enough damage in this kind of situation. He has enough of that destructive damage.
Yeah, I like that you pointed it out, because it was really evident in the mid-game stages around the 6-minute mark when they were trying to make the plays. When you initiate with the Sylvana, follow it up with even a Matilda, the Harris just did so much damage in the mid-stage of the game. We'll say that Harris will be online a few minutes later, but because of the itemization and the fact that he was moving with his team, it allowed him to deal massive damage in the early stages.
And right now we can look at the stats as well. 10 towers to 2, 1 large to 0, 2 turtles to 0, 7 orange buff, and 9 purple buff over to 6. This just shows that they really conquered the jungle, and Omega, they really couldn't do much. But right now, let's look at the MVP of the game, back-to-back to back.
When will this guy stop, man?
Yam again.
Somebody stop him.
Somebody stop him. Somebody stop him. Somebody stop him. Anyways, 8-0 and 6 with the Hive. He has used different heroes, and all those different heroes, he has earned the MVP slot. This is one of the situations where we're like, all right, maybe you want to give to someone else, but like really, we can't. Like he did so well. Again, very smart itemization and very good of alter ego to really play with him to enable him to make sure that he can do what he is supposed to do.
Whoever really poked this guy, I guess the fans were bashing him after the stages. A lot of people are pinning him down, but
haters make him famous.
Yeah,
and now he's famous for
he is now very famous, and he is very strong. I think that the real anime arc was for Yam. It wasn't for the set of 10-6 games.
He's like Naruto.
He's like Naruto now, yeah. Like the kid is getting bullied and now he's awakening.
Yeah, he got it in a QB.
I hope that I made the right reference because I
oh no, yeah. Naruto wanted to be Hokage, but people like bullied him and stuff, and now he's the Hokage.
Alright, so yeah, we are expecting more from you now because he is incredibly sharp as a kid.
Oh, Boruto.
Oh yeah? Did he? That's how old we are right now?
Oh yeah, we're very old. We're very old.
Well, you know what? Omega Esports, this is their last possible chance. I mean, they can still bring it to game number 3, but let's find out though as we now bring it back to the caster's desk.
And Butters, we're going to be bringing you the action all throughout today.
And of course, thank you very much. This is the M2 playoffs day number 2, and we are going in for this match on a great fashion. Special thanks to our sponsor, Secret Lab, award-winning gaming seats engineered for long hours of comfort and sitting available in the Secret Lab official stores in major e-commerce in Singapore, or visit secretlab.co.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would also like to thank Tumi for being a partner in esports for M2 as the journey to become the champion of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpack. You can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without worry. Be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
It was like they put them all on the
An established distributor of many well-loved consumer brands in Asia, SUTL is proud to be an MLBB partner in esports for 2021 for Fiji Water, Ike Chung's IT's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
Now Yam has been garnering so much attention. Like, how do you actually ban against this team? Like, who do you really want to focus down?
To World Championships 2020 held in Singapore for free on Me Watch.
Again, there was reach. There was reach, but there wasn't an overarching strategy.
From 9
and to be able to say, okay, you can take mid lane, we'll take the jungle, we'll take the side lanes.
100,000 worth of a prize pool.
How sure are you that you're going to get that down? And so far, even that wasn't true. In the early game, they were attacking top lane, Alter Ego,
Do or die for
Omega.
That's where first blood was drawn. Filipino fans at home watching M2 are shocked to their seats. My name is Leo, joined here by Contra, Gideon Q, and Butters. We're going to be bringing you the action all throughout today. And after the analysts, Felon Wolf broke down what went down, I'm pretty convinced it's not a fluke. Yam really is a whole another beast. Today, yesterday,
one person dies,
hell,
you're going to
if
need
they make
trade
it
up.
to
And
the
if you
grand
don't do that, you're going to be
finals,
so far
it's
behind.
definitely
Zoning in on a specific priority. I think for Filipino teams, I've seen this, right?
And I'm pretty
not just
sure
because
a
I'm
lot of
Filipino,
fans
but also as a
think,
broadcaster, I've noticed little patterns.
right back in
Don't play
Indonesia.
Choke. Don't play
Eagles got
Selena.
M2
These are
covered.
heroes that are
They're just going to bring back the trophy for him just so they can take the picture. It's all for that picture, all for that
They figured out how to
grab.
shut these strategies down. And
I'm
based
seeing
on this
him
match's
right
results
now
and
as
from yesterday,
someone who has given
it
freedom
seems like
to
whoever's
display
facing against
whatever
Omega
he
or
wanted.
Ren have figured out
Like,
that,
for the
hey,
group series,
stop
you wouldn't
these
really
things.
see
Don't
him
let
on
them
the
do good
Harry.
show. Don't let
It
them
was like
do what
they
they're supposed to
put
do.
it all
And
on
you're
Sandy
fine.
Boy
So
or
far,
Pi.
it's proven
But
well.
right now, there's a certain amount
Selena
of
could have
trust
done more
that was
there.
given to him,
This is
and
uncharacteristic
he's
of him.
delivering
He
a whole lot
always
more for
does
the team.
great in
Yeah, and
other
you
matches
definitely
before
look
that
towards the
certain
dynamics
Selena
of the
game.
entirety of
He
the
couldn't
team right
really
now.
put
It's not
his
only
straps all
Udil
over the
or
place.
even the likes of Kelly Boy that
Because
comes
when
to
Leo
threat.
Murphy
Now
has
Yam has
control
been
over
garnering
the
so much
brushes,
attention.
over the
Like,
jungle,
how do you actually
that's
ban
when
against
things
a team?
get,
Like, who do you really want to
dangerous
focus
for Omega,
down?
because there's
I think it
always
came
a
down
chance for you
to
to get
Omega
stunned
also
and get
kind
hit
of
by
being a
the
little
Imperial
confused.
Justice.
Again,
Now,
there was reach.
Omega,
There was reach, but there
they
wasn't
tried
an
their best,
overarching strategy. And
it's
to be
always
able to say,
Alter
okay, you
Ego
can take mid lane,
having
we'll take the jungle, we'll take the side lanes.
steps. They're
is a huge gamble. Like, how sure are you that you're going to get that down? And so far, even that wasn't true. In the early game, they were attacking top lane, Alter Ego, and they won completely. That's where First Blood was drawn.
The new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. We're launching this new adventure once more officially on January 30th. There's a new update system called Blessing, a new commander coming up, a new map, also is going to get revamped, and of course there's going to be a free trial for advanced skins waiting for all of y'all once more to Battle Night. And again, those strategies may differ amongst the team. The priorities are going to be different. However, they need to play safe. They can't afford to make that mistake. One person dies, you're going to need to trade up. And if you don't do that, you're going to be so far behind.
Zoning in on a specific priority. I think for Filipino teams, I've seen this, right? And not just because I'm Filipino, but also as a broadcaster, I've noticed little patterns. Don't play Cho. Don't play Selena. These are heroes that are non-starters. It might have just been because you were studied by your opponent. They figured out how to shut these strategies down. And based on this match's results and from yesterday,
can't find this certain
it seems like whoever's facing against Omega or Bren have figured out that, hey, stop these things. Don't let them do good
like
show. Don't let them
do
what Selena's supposed to do. And you're finding so far it's proven well.
Yeah, we look how
Selena could have done more there. This is uncharacteristic of him. He always does great in other matches, but for that certain Selena game, he couldn't really put his traps all over the place. Because when Leo Murphy has control over the brushes, over the jungle, that's when things get dangerous for Omega, because there's always a chance for you to get stunned and get hit by the Imperial Justice. Now, Omega, they tried their best, but it's always Alter Ego having 2 steps ahead. Their Alter Ego is 2 steps ahead of them. That's it.
Yeah, Leo Murphy knows exactly where to catch it, right? And you know where else you can catch
the benefit of being on the blue side, right?
That's
so you want to like shake your opponent to see what kind of chain, spare chain actually falls out of the pockets, and then abuse them with it. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, as long as I don't have to ban the Esmeralda, I'm going to make you make that decision. And if you let it through, I'm going to have this ultra powerful thing that we haven't really found a
commander coming up, a new map, also he's going to get revamped, and of course there's going to be a free trial for advanced skins waiting for all of y'all once more to Battle Night happening on January 30th. Y'all get a free skin if you log in. Alright, about 45 seconds before the draft. At this point, anything goes. The Filipinos, they pick up the Yuzhong. They don't do so well with it.
Yeah, and
I think this just resets everything. Like, no numbers are going to save you from the Raps Alter Ego this time.
And I think more importantly, I think they need to predetermine inside the draft what they want to do exactly here. Because they're trying to get a little bit of everything being attractive all the time, but the way conditions are extremely difficult to hit.
I think by picking up a Yuzhong, you kind of fix things. Because yes, it's also a jack of all trades, but it's also very good at solving problems.
All over the place.
The thing is, we've seen a couple of teams actually
find the certain
the fact that they picked up the Omega. It looks like Omega is actually prioritizing being able to pick it up in the first pick because they ban on the Esmeralda
over like 6 or 7, you're probably
not
going to do well because you're trying to do a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah, we look how they really want to activate things like the link itself, and that didn't really went well, but now hitting it towards our second draft in this match, I'm definitely thinking that Omega Esports knows, okay, that didn't work out. We're going for our alternative route itself, and we start off with Natalia, something that is pretty standard that we've been seeing every game.
I'm wondering what the alternative route looks like for Omega Esports. So far they've been trying these lineups that have done well in the group stage. Playoffs not so much, so we're looking for them to shape up. Alter Ego Esports is going to be answering back. They have the 2 picks after the ban phase. They take out Brody, and so far they're not breaking a sweat. Not just yet. They can just really take out the fundamental heroes that you should get rid of. Brody, Esmeralda, Jawhead, and then call it ready. They're not afraid of anything right now.
Yeah, but you have the benefit of being on the blue side, right? So you want to like shake your opponent to see what kind of change, spare change actually falls out of the pockets.
I'm pretty sure they are also questioning.
So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, as long as I don't have to ban the Esmeralda, I'm going to make you make that decision. And if you let it through, I'm going to have this ultra powerful pick that we haven't really found a solution to
that affects us. But if you can
play
it, sure, that's fine, but it's not so bad.
I think Esmeralda is going to be the banner for the side of Alter Ego.
I'm pretty sure they could have done with it. That could have been a Yuzhong if they were going to pick up the Vendetta anyways. But yeah,
there are teams
that's definitely something Yam can play. Thinking of Omega Esports could go for the couple here. But I just gotta know before things get too crazy. Yam has no specific hero choice just yet. He can play anything so far and play him very well.
Once
He's
they found that
MVP'd on the Benedetta.
they're actually
He's MVP'd on the Harith.
Hoping that Yishun
what's next, right? Look at this. Tigreal on Heath and Yelly on that
wants to kind of fix their drafting issue or their lost strategy. I think by picking up a usage, you kind of fix things because yes, it's also a jack of all trades, but it's also very good at solving problems either way.
They've already got a lot of
we've seen a couple of
kids already up online,
the fact
but
that they picked up
they are giving
it looks like
away
Omega
that
is actually prioritizing being able to pick it up in the first pick because they banned out the Esmeralda for themselves. They don't want that question to be posed and decided by Alter Ego.
Judging from how Alter Ego Esports are playing across the entirety of the playoffs.
I guess for Omega, it's Toshi that is not playing right now.
Like if they don't
so you would want
care of their
Kurt to go for a
positioning, there is going
big
to be hell to pay for
you
these
would
guys.
want
But Alter Ego biting out the 1-1.
Tanky hero to the
Yeah, I
side lane
think
and
this
just
might be the plan of Omega, just to have
that's
two
their
side
kind of
laner,
playstyle. For Alter Ego Esports, if they get this Esmeralda, this is going to be a hard game for the side of Omega Esports.
They
And you just want to be as comfortable as possible since it could probably be your last game if you lose.
I mean, considering the number of bans they get rid of Juan, it really is tough. They get rid of the Harith.
Okay, this shakes things up because now we're seeing Selena here. So
as long as he does okay,
pick a poison, but they did want that
on the other side. They see Matilda.
They won't
Let's
get
get rid of that straight away. It's a great
I think
combo
that's
piece,
what
but
that
they're
gambit
still
was.
lacking that wave.
But
They're
I think
still
Alter Ego
lacking their mage.
may not have thought
that skills
the
hard in towards that
Selena
late
through
game.
because I think Omega Esports after losing back-to-back games of
Omega
Selena
Esports,
on
are they
Yellow
gonna choke it? Or are they going to
sure they are
continue
also questioning
and make
why we should
Udil's
do this
life
now.
hard right
I think
in
overall,
mid
it's
lane?
not the worst
and it
ban.
seems like
It's
the
not the worst
answer is
ban.
going
Yes,
to
you
be
do play
Shelly
it, but
Boys,
like, even if
Lynx,
you
the
do
Open,
get
is the
we're banning it because there are other things of priority that affects us.
Yeah,
but if you can play it, sure, that's fine, but it's not so bad to the point of like an Esmeralda level completely taking
I'm pretty
over
sure
the
they could
game.
have dealt with it. That could have been a Yuzhong if they were going to pick up the Benedetta anyways. But yeah, that's definitely something Yam can play. Thinking of what Omega Esports could go for the couple here. But I just got to note before things get too crazy, Yam has no specific hero choice. He can play anything so far and play very well. He's MVP'd on the Benedetta. He's MVP'd on the Harith. And
there's a chance
next,
that
right?
the
Look at
Benedetta
this.
could be the jumper.
On Heath
So there are a lot of routes that Alter Ego can take here.
That's definitely...
personally, I don't think so.
They need more scaling already. They need that ultra hyper carry type deal in Jelly Boy.
And I also
pretty
think
interested to see how this works because they've already got a lot of
locking in the box just to
kids
tell your
already
opponent,
up
hey, you're missing
online,
two
but
off laners.
they are
And as
giving
long as you
away
have something
that
that can
zone straight
absorb
into
damage,
the
it's
hands of
absolutely
Alter
fine.
Ego
They're forced to
Esports.
take
So
export.
this is
And
definitely going to be
now they have to play
concerns
a
out there
hyper
for
susceptible
Omega
side
Esports,
laner
judging
like a
from
carry.
how
Yes, she's great in the laning phase, but after that, where do you go from there?
Wow,
we did say that earlier that there could be
like
a
the usual pick
couple matches that
because
are
the
Omega
usual
Esports.
shade
So
and the
now it's
Louis
here.
gets accounted for.
Aaron, you were saying?
Like if they don't take care of their positioning, there is going to be hell to pay for these
they're
guys.
not even going
But
for any
Alter
one of
Ego
these
biting out the
marksmen. They're
1-1.
finishing things
Yeah,
up.
I think this might be the plan of Omega, just to have side laner to marksman on their team. Abroad is still possible, but I don't think Omega would take that risk. Who knows, maybe they would,
Because you never can count out the Benedetta in terms of damage output. A lot of the players or a lot of the side laners go for bloodless acts. But if you try to go for Raptor Machete Blade of Despair, Electro Final Blow deals a lot of damage.
And you get
As
away
long
with
as he
more.
does
You get healing.
okay,
You get away with more because you're healing.
Omega
And
on the other side, they see
why I
Matilda.
really
Let's
thought
get rid
that
of that
it
straight
could be a
away. It's a great
Benedetta
combo piece,
because
but they're
Omega
still lacking
Esports
that
banned
wave.
out a
They're
lot of
still
jumpers.
lacking their mage, and not to mention
They were just
something
gonna
that
let it
skills
happen.
hard into
Anyways, wow.
Yeah,
Massey
something
Udo
for Jelly Boy.
impressing
Jelly
us.
Boy don't have no
Coach
hero
Alter
yet.
Ego Esports at
Omega
every turn,
Esports, are
ladies
they
and
going to
gentlemen.
choke
Omega
it?
Esports,
Or are they going to
they are
continue
hanging
and
by
make
a
Udo's
thread.
life
This
hard
game could be
right
their very
in
last
mid
year
lane?
in
And it seems
Singapore
like the
for
answer
him
is going
to
to be
an
Jelly
elimination
Boy's
going
link
to be
still
upon
open.
us.
Is
It
the
is
Lancelot?
imminent.
It's the
Here we go.
Roger.
Game number 2 in this best of 3.
Yeah,
Alter
he's
Ego
won
versus
with all of
Esports.
these.
Boys,
There you go.
all yours.
It's going to be...
And thank you very much, Leo. And
yeah.
well, I really got to commend both sides of the coach for getting it versus this round.
No, this is great.
We're seeing so many different
This
styles
is
of
really
play
solid.
coming from each
This is
region, and I'm absolutely loving it.
This is going to
Alter
be
Ego Esports starting on the purple side, and
Leo Murphy,
we already have seen a shove over on mid lane.
Are you saying Udil Silvana?
Udil Silvana could be a thing. This could go to the side lane as well. And there's a chance that the Benedetta could be the jungler. So there are a lot of routes that Alter Ego can take here.
With that veil, as time goes on, he's going to be able to one-shot.
They need more scaling. Yeah, they need that ultra hyper carry type deal.
And I also think that they've got a lot of options in terms of that scaling. So locking in the boxer just to tell your opponents, hey, you're missing 2 offlaners, and as long as you have something that can absorb damage, it's absolutely fine. So they're forced to take transport, and still now they have to play a hyper susceptible side laner like carry. Yes, she's great in the laning phase, but after that, where do you go from there?
Let's talk about the condition here.
We did say that earlier that there could be a marksman, global marksman setup for Omega Esports, so now it's here. Aaron, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm losing track of what I was about to say, but now they're not even going for any one of these marksmen. They're finishing things up pure.
They want to punish down Kha'Zix, but now they already sent all their members Kha'Zix as well as to shut that down to make sure, as long as we defend Kha'Zix, as long as we defend the aggression from Alter Ego, and Kha'Zix can
you
scale,
never can count out the Benedetta in terms of damage output. A lot of the players or a lot of the side laners go for bloodless apps. But if you try to go for Raptor Machete Blade of Despair, Electro Final Blow deals a lot of damage.
And you get away with more because you're healing.
You get away with more because you're healing. And that's why I really thought that it could be a Benedetta, because Omega Esports banned out a lot of jumpers.
Take out Yelly Hayes, or at the very least try to take out Kha'Zix.
Anyways,
yeah,
wow,
that's definitely very important in some of these fights.
Coach of Alter Ego
do have
Esports
the
at every
turtle
turn,
contest coming up next. High tries to dive right in, but turtle will be in hands of Omega Esports, and Leo Murphy is trying to zone them all away. And just look at the rest of Omega Go. Kha'Zix will be taken down, and Alter Ego.
Here we go, game number 2 in the best of 3.
Leo Murphy versus Esports. He does.
Boys,
He's managing to land the Cosmic Lance right at the edge. Udil is there to zone the rest of Alter Ego.
Coach for getting it for this draft, because we're seeing so many different styles of play coming from each region, and I'm absolutely loving it. Alter Ego Esports starting on the purple side, and we already have seen a from mid lane
per hero,
then they just look immediately straight away. It looks like they switched it up on Alter Ego's side. Yam is going to be on the Yuzong's. Helly Boy is going to be in the jungle with the Vendetta with the Retribution, like you mentioned, Butters. And not to say that they don't have scaling per se, because Udil, with that veil, as time goes on, he's going to be able to one-shot people like nothing.
If you think about it, you would say that, oh, they don't have a lot of damage, but he scales a lot, and he's one hero that can play around with his skill range, skill damage. Bane only has that option.
Yeah, and also to note for a fact that Kha'Zix is now on his highest KD hero. Of course,
I mean, if you're using the chocolate to get
let's talk about their win condition here, because the late game is looking relatively interesting for the side of Omega Esports. I definitely like this route and pathway that they're going with as compared to Game 1, a very focus-centric towards what the conditions are.
Oh, some good damage onto Kha'Zix here. Yeah, as you mentioned about those win conditions, I think it's very important to mention that they want to punish down Kha'Zix, but now they've already sent both of their members, Kha'Zix as well as Heath, to shut that down, to make sure, as long as we defend Kha'Zix, as long as we defend the aggression from Alter Ego and Kha'Zix can scale, we've got a great opportunity to win this game.
I would have to say that Kenji here on the export, we don't see export a lot on the side lane, off lane anymore, but for this certain game, I really like his inclusion here for the side of Omega Esports. In terms of damage output, the last Insanity can deal significant amount of damage to Yan, Leo Murphy, and Pai, and it can take down Udil if needed.
He is very happy with the turnout here. It's going to be a 3-4-0 for Alter Ego. Huge wins finally at the very least.
Did you just see how Gam just choked them up and had nowhere to escape? That was a perfectly timed contest coming up next. High tries to dive right in, but Turtle will be in hands of Omega Esports, and Leo Murphy is trying to zone them all away. And just look at the rest of Omega Go. Kha'Zix will be taken down. And Alter Ego at least walks away with a kill.
That was a really good pick. Oh, Leo Murphy, he wants to pick him off, and yes, he does! He's managing to land the Cosmic Lance right at the edge, and Udil is there to zone the rest off. Alter Ego playing some really sick moves, cutting Omega in half and zoning them off from the major fight on towards topside river.
This is how Alter Ego wins. With all the chaos onto the map, everyone just gets split up. They put certain amount of people on them, probably 2 per hero, then they just get the kill. And this is how they pull over the lead to their side.
Tier 1 and Tier 2.
Indeed, and as
you
for
gotta
the matter
run
of
away,
fact,
my buddy. You gotta get on out of there. Mega kill coming out of Chili Boy. He is just showing a new side of Benedetta in the jungle.
Absolutely, this is working too well for Chili Boy. Having a slight
the Imperial Justice does not let you get out. Yelly Haze is going to be the next to fall easily as Jelly Boy runs him down. They're going to be trying to get some extra gold onto this mid-target here, but now Jelly Boy is going to try and zone out Kenji as it's easy
being activated
that way.
It's as if Alter Ego doesn't care about the mountain chakra anymore. They just stay in lane.
On Alter Ego's side.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. If you're using the mountain chakra to get information, but you're already kind of there in the lane.
Omega Esports, you're trying
do you use it as a way to poke them down? I don't think that's a good use of it 4 minutes into the game.
I don't think they will get that
Omega's just using it to kind of like get just in case
there might be a chance that opening.
Yeah, just in case if somebody is hiding in places where they least expect them to be, and with that, you just gotta take safety precautions, especially when you're now one game away from being eliminated.
Choke them out of the economy.
A lot of riding, a lot of hope is riding on the back here of Kurt Teasy. He's going to be one of the main players here for the side of Omega Esports if they really want to win this game. But Haji going straight for that critical. Look at Bai.
Well, they want to start this fight. Poison's coming in from high is huge, but Heath and Kenji's last insanity. So big, but on the other side towards the purple buff, Alter Ego continue to push on forward. And yeah, he is very happy with the turnout here. It's going to be a 3-4-0 for Alter Ego. Huge wins, finally getting the lead.
Did you just see how Yam just choked him off and had nowhere to escape? That was a perfectly timed Omlet with the Black Dragon crashing right through, and this is definitely that turtle going in favor of Alter Ego. No contest whatsoever. Oh boy, now 7-1. What can Omega Esports do to make a comeback?
Jelly Boy with the cap closer and with the plate of peace there.
Let
so much damage on the side of Omega Esports.
Find the right engagement with Kenji. I really thought that Kenji could have done a lot of damage to Yam and Pai, but the thing is, they're not really looking at Kenji right now. Kenji,
Alter Ego
with the last insanity, just
they're telling us that who needs to scale
of their HP?
Just end the game early.
And especially when it's up against Pai, I thought they would do a little bit more damage there, but here Sacred Hammer is going to be pushing high up, but Leo Murphy looking for a great opportunity to get on top of Yelly Haze, and that's going to be Jelly Boy hopping right over it, taking out the back line, forcing them away, right in between Tier 1 and Tier 2. You gotta run away, my buddy. You gotta get on out of there. Mega kill coming out of Jelly Boy. He is just showing a new side of Benedetta in the jungle.
Absolutely, and this is working too well for Jelly Boy.
Now, as you can see, the item progression of Jelly Boy here, he went first for the Blade of Despair to get enough damage to burst people down. After that, he went for the Bloodlust.
But back to what you just mentioned,
now he went for the Dominance Ice first because he had a lot of punishment on the other side. You have Haji, you have Kurt Easy. And after that, he went for a brute force breastplate. That is good itemization from Alter Ego.
Alter Ego here is just being so dominant in this game. Omega Esports, they're trying to find the right opportunity to just get back into this game. Alter Ego Esports, unrelenting. I don't think they will give that opening anytime soon.
With the 6K gold,
yeah, with the 6K gold lead, there might be a chance that opening might not come.
All they have to do is
we'll have to wait and see. Omega need to find that opening regardless. If not, this game is going to slip out of their hands. Alter Ego now starting to become more of an aggressor here.
You know what? Omega Esports, they're not going to go down without a fight. They still have their weight here. That is a plus for them if they really just want to defend this turret.
now, but they managed to synchronize the waves together. Yam, he's going to be pushing on through last Insanity to try and clear out that wave, but Yam keeps disrupting the team, and now they're going to look for an engagement. They've got one inhibitor. Can they get a second one? The mid one has been destroyed, bottom side has been cleared, and yes, they've been brought down to at least 15% of its HP, but I think it's a win no matter what for Alter Ego.
Of course, it's going to be a win for Alter Ego Esports.
And Omega,
yes,
I think they're okay for now. They're able to just kind of slowly play the game. Just the major problem, Lord, hasn't been there yet. Leo Murphy gets pressed onto Hajizi here. This is huge, but now the Black Dragon is coming in towards the back guy. Yam needs to cut him off. Hajizi in trouble. He goes down straight away. Execute is pulled on through. Kenji, without the Firaga armor, can't really do too much, but that just means that Jelly Boy is able to run through.
Jelly Boy with the gap closer and with the Blade of Despair, he deals so much damage on the side of Omega Esports. It's not even funny anymore.
Oh, that Dragon's tail!
Jelly Boy gets on out there.
With the help of Pi, with the touch. They run out of options. Jelly Boy finally goes down, but they've already traded a lot of their members to try and crack into the base.
They're telling us that who needs to scale if you just end the game early.
Both of these guys,
every single thing that yells at you, oh wow, it's all about shutting them down from the get-go. And now Omega Esports so behind. Let's check out some of the items here. Easy, still building in for those big major items, but
now that is going to be
we do have a little bit of action in the jungle.
Oh, the engagement is already coming through. The Sacred Hammers pulled through as well as the whirlwind. They are making sure that they're stopping Omega. They should not be walking out, especially in these tight corners against Alter Ego. Udil scaling up real nicely at level 11.
Now, as you can see, the item progression of Jelly Boy here, he went first for the Blade of Despair to get enough damage to burst people down. After that, he went for the Bloodlust Axe. For Pi here, looking at it, he went for the Dominance Ice first just because they had a lot of marksmen onto the other side. You have Haji, you have Curtizi, and after that, he went for a Brute Force Breastplate. That is good itemization from Alter Ego.
He just wants to be able to chase down those targets, especially with the help of the rest of the members like Yam and as well as Jelly Boy, all wanting to do the same thing. They have the mobility to get to the back line, so it makes perfect sense.
Definitely makes absolute sense right now. 10 minutes have passed, and we are seeing Lord taken over by Alter Ego Esports. This is possibly one of the cleanest games we've ever seen coming in from the Indonesian side. And with that, see confidence oozing right in. All they have to do is just to force a pick, and if they do get Curtizi or Hazizi, you lose so much force damage.
The damage coming out
but
of that
you know what, Omega Esports, they're not gonna go down without a fight. They still have their wave here. That is a plus for them if they really just want to defend this turret.
You say that now, but they managed to synchronize the waves. Yeah, he's gonna be pushing on through as he's trying to clear out that wave, but Yam is disrupting the team, and now they're gonna look for an engagement. They've got one inhibitor. Can they get a second one? The mid one has been destroyed. Bottom side has been cleared, and yes, they've been brought down to at least 50% of its HP, but I think it's a win no matter what.
Of course it's going to be a win for Alter Ego Esports. Yes, it could have gone worse.
Call it surprising, but I'm more impressed. This is Alter Ego.
Damage in. It looks like Omega giving him a lot more respect than he needs, but hey, he's got two items. The 13k ahead. It's definitely understandable that you don't want to try and force a situation on top of Alter Ego.
Back to the cash.
Yeah, really utilize
a quick sweep here by Alter Ego
going on
Esports
to keep
Omega
them pretty much healthy at the moment, but honestly, I don't see where they're not Omega will commit, but here comes the fight.
Pretty sure Filipinos back home are proud of y'all, but
for now, but it's not gonna matter. He's able to
here
flip
to
it over
0.
the wall. Yam trying to disrupt his and oh, that dragon's tail jumps all four with the help of Pi with the Toy Boy sauce. They run out of options. Jelly Boy finally goes down, but they've already traded a lot of their members to try and crack into the base. You gotta give it a Curtizi and as well as Hajizi. Both of these guys. Oh my god, the damage!
Wow, just look at that burst. Like, did you expect Alter Ego to suddenly lose so much health?
The best part was, many of the spells
gotta see that one again.
Now that is going to be the holy crystal for Yelly Haze. Curtizi here has the endless battle, the golden staff, and the demon hunter sword. So they can probably peel down these heroes from the side of Alter Ego Esports.
Esports, despite them being very tanky, I think they have a clear answer for Yam and Pai. Now, they just need to find an answer on how to catch Udin and Chellyboy, rather.
I mean, they're running out of time for every single one of these big team fights. They end up losing it. They give away at least 5K, reclaim 5K for recovery of their own economy. Now, from what used to be a massive gold lead for Alter Ego, now turning in a lot less, only 7K differential from what used to be 13K.
Of course, that fight definitely matters a whole lot. Anyways, gives Omega Esports a little bit of rating here, but maybe we should start anyway. Going with the Black Dragon, crossing in for Sealing Gates as well as Kratisi, while the rest of them arrive, and they'll
oh my goodness!
Burst it down, and Omega Esports losing 4 members, only keep is left alive, and this might just be the end of the tunnel. And well, Alter Ego Esports will book their ticket all the way to the playoff runs in the lower bracket final.
Oh, I mean, Alter Ego is happy, but oh my goodness, the damage coming out of that Yuzong. I thought it was a little bit slow, I'm not gonna lie, but especially carrying 3 items in the classic Demon Hunter Sword, Golden Staff, on top of an endless battle. You pop that on, say goodbye no matter how tanky you are.
This is basically the dive proposition where Omega Esports, they want to stall. They have a double marksman setup. They have Integral. It's very good in terms of fighting.
I don't even know what to say because Benedetta wasn't even there.
Alter Ego Esports, this is what they do. They just dive right in where everyone from Omega Esports, they want to
you gotta get in on this. I know this is definitely disappointing, but wow, that was a game.
Call it disappointing, but I'm more impressed. This is Alter Ego.
Thank you very much.
Like we've expected them to be, except with Ahmad. Like we know Alter Ego with Ahmad in it. This is how they perform. But with Yamin, it's all the more impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Casters Desk. A quick sweep here by Alter Ego Esports. Omega Esports
maybe later on during the item build when we explain it, I can say how amazed I am with this draft because it is indeed a run-and-choose strategy. Coming up from Alter Ego Esports, which really awarded the late game
the Indonesian bad boys with Udil
Esports. Many times in
warming up the seat,
become aggressive.
And I'm glad that you've never missed a beat. Looking at
we saw the Sylvana initiated in this small place, but look at how Omega
Bale's making a name for himself with a Kanagi skin.
The composition that they are using, where this is the formation.
There's so much that happened in the game, and I could have sworn that at some point Kratisi had it, especially after the turnaround in that defense.
But there is no hesitation. Yam goes in. Everyone else
triple.
Go in.
The best part
with
was,
the electrifying blow, she'll be immune for a few seconds, giving free damage, and every time you're inside of them,
walk out of that alive.
With the Dragon
this is just a testament on how dangerous the lower bracket is.
This is the classic strategy battle in the outer circle almost always defeats the inner circle, right? Because the people in the inner circle would just clump up together, and there's just enough AoE from Alter Ego Esports. I am really sad, but incredibly happy that we get to see a lot of, I'd say, not really much on the improvements, but more like waking up coming out from Alter Ego Esports.
Now the thing is, it's not like Omega Esports, they
version, this strength of Alter Ego Esports, it was dormant at the start of the World Championship, but
the carry
time when it all matters, they show up.
Yeah, that's the perfect time when you do want to show up again. It's Wolf, my name is Abel, and right now, honestly, the name of the game of the last game is Rock, Paper, Scissors. They didn't sponsor us, but anyways, there's no company that
maybe we should start that.
Maybe we should start it. Anyways, it's all on the drop. And the thing is, Omega didn't drop that drop. It was perfectly good, but the thing is, Rock, Paper, Scissors, where all the Eagles drop were specifically catered to go against Omega's drop. And right now, we will look at the highlights to really see what happened in the game.
If the Scissors were Omega Esports, their draft was slower and they are greedy, they want to go for the double marksman setup. Well, the Rock is Alter Ego Esports with their run-and-choose strategy, but they literally kept on running.
And we can pause over here because you guys just saw the team fight just now where everyone on the side of Omega Esports, they were over here. And the situation, let's look at the draw from Alter Ego. This is their battle formation. we go straight at them, where this is basically a dive composition where Omega Esports, they want to stall. They have a double marksman setup, they have a Louis, they have a Tigreal. It's very good in terms of team fighting appeal as well as the damage come mid to late game. But Alter Ego Esports, this is what they do. They just dive right in, where everyone from Omega Esports, they want to clump up together. And we look at the Benedetta, we look at the Yuzong, we look at
Sylvana. Now, if you're a normal
this girl over here.
Thank
you very much. Sylvana, every one of them can charge in front.
Mid
even the Baxia. Even the Baxia. The Baxia can go in. The only one in the backline is the Veil, but the Veil can deal heavy burst damage, where Yuzong with the knockup can pull everyone together. And hey, Windstorm, it's gonna hurt.
Maybe later on during the item build, when we explain it, I can say how amazed I am with this draft, because it is indeed a run-and-choose strategy. Coming up from Alter Ego Esports, which really thwarted the late game base lineup of Omega Esports. Many times in this particular match, they just become aggressive.
We will pause again right here, where we saw the Sylvana initiated in this small place, but look at how Omega they are. This is the composition that they are using, where this is the formation they have to be. Stick together, win the team fight. But just look at the direction of Alter Ego. There is no hesitation. Yam goes in. Everyone else go in. Benedetta with the electrifying blow, she'll be immune for a few seconds, giving free damage. And every time they're inside of there, it hurts. With the Dragon Tail, it hurts. And the Windstorm again as well.
Well, you know, this is the classic strategy battle where the outer circle almost always defeats the inner circle, right? Because the people in the inner circle will just clump up together, and there's just enough AoE from Alter Ego Esports. Not only with damage, but also with utilities. I do want to take note that Bash Ultimate, which really destroyed the sustain coming out from Omega Esports.
Now the thing is, it's not like Omega Esports, they 100% boost this drop. The thing is, if they achieve their win condition going to the mid-late game, the carry got really fat, as well as the Shin, as well with proper positioning, with the Tigreal initiating, as well as the Louis doing all of those crazy magnetic skills. Alter Ego might lose, but the thing is, Alter Ego is like, we're not going to get you to that point. You're not going to get the items that you want.
No, you won't reach that point. And when that point does happen, there is still the Veil. You can dish out the control and the damage in the latter stages of the game. Do take note that that last clash was started by Yam, and that is totally a different story from the group stages. Yam was disconnected from his team during the group stages, but that was the perfect picture of how Yam was now integrated into Alter Ego Esports. It's as if Ahmad never left.
But honestly, I was very impressed with Celiboy with the Benedetta. Because the thing is, right now is the meta where Benedetta is more of a tanky kind of initiator, as well as a guy that baits other people. But Celiboy, using a full damage situation over here, we can see the itemization, the Bloodless Axe, the Blade of Despair, a little bit of a sustainability against the magic damage with the Magic Blade for just that extra mid resist, as well as the shield and the Queen's wings. And he played very aggressively, where usually Benedetta fails as a jungler, but
hopefully we get to interview him.
He actually made it look good. And not only that, I think the draft made that Benedetta jungler look good. Now, since we've already talked about the items, I want to talk about the draft really quickly, because Alter Ego Esports, they open up with Benedetta, they open up as well with Sylvana. Now, if you're a normal drafter, it would look like Alter Ego Esports are going to go sidling Benedetta, support slash mid Sylvana, and then you want the Yuzong and the side lanes. But Alter Ego Esports, after them seeing a double marksman setup from the Omega Esports squad with this carry and this Lee Jin, which is by the way incredibly greedy, what they did was still throw in a curveball and put this Veil on the mid lane position, the Sylvana on the tank roll, which is much more faster than a Tigreal, and obviously you have had the backshot from the sidings, which was perfect. This is a very aggressive lineup from Alter Ego Esports. The tempo Omega Esports cannot keep up with.
Yeah, we discussed this before, where between Omega as well as Alter Ego, where Omega really likes the late game, but Alter Ego, they just control it very well from the early stages, mid stages, as well as transitioning to the late stages of the game. Right now, let's look at the stats for both of these teams. Look at how convincing it was. 9 towers to 0, 1 Lord to 0. Rich Guy going over to Chelly Boy. The carry, Yam dealing 41,000 damage, which is very, very impressive coming from side lane. Sandbag high with 81,000 damage absorbed, and Forgotten One Udil with 9 assists.
An absolute dominant performance from everyone from Alter Ego Esports. You know what, the draft looks really good, and you can say that the draft was well done when everybody from your team is getting all of those important stats, the MVP stats, right? The Rich Guy, the carry, the Forgotten One, the Sandbag, everyone came from Alter Ego Esports. And this might be just for features, but honestly, if you're looking at a full team that really dominates the match, you know that the draft is good.
Especially when it's covered by different people. That's the Rich Guy as well as the carry. Same guy. Right now, let's look at the MVP of the game. It's going over to Chelly Boy with 88.51 for the Benedetta, where Chelly Boy not only did well as the Benedetta, he did well as a Benedetta jungler. And if he was not good with this Benedetta jungler, they cannot do that draft.
You know what?
Have to put Benedetta in the side lane.
We have seen jungler Benedetta, we have seen EXP and Gold Benedetta. Yesterday we saw that tank Benedetta.
Rematch.
Man, we're waiting for the mid lane Benedetta.
Okay,
we've seen the mid lane Lancelot.
We've seen the mid lane Lancelot was crazy. It did not work. No,
the thing is, like, how do you identify when this hero is good? Well, when you can put him anywhere, even the tank position, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I am personally really
awesome. Remember, guys, give your hero the chance.
So much. I think that it's an auto ban. Yuzong also falls in that same category, just because of the fact that M2 Championship is, you know, tailored around teams just team fighting in the early stages.
And honestly, Yuzong has potential to go experience lane, gold lane, and I would say even mid lane. His Dragon Tail is that huge. But either way, Wolf, we have an interview after this?
We do have an interview. I'm excited. I think that my personal MVP of the whole series is Yam so far. Hopefully we get to interview him, but I think it's gonna be Celeboy or either way. But let's find out in quite a few seconds as we take it to Lysander.
Guys, welcome to the interview segment with the winners, and Alter Ego certainly proved themselves to be the absolute winners, taking a clean sweep against Omega Esports. Unfortunate